All right, everybody, let's do it. So this is continuing lesson number 6, beginner factoring techniques. So let's work on the first one. Here, what are we doing? It's asking, use the FOIL technique to expand the following. And remember, this is the idea of FOIL. You have first, outer, inner, last. So watch as I go with the colors, just in case if you forget. Here, you remember you have x times x is x squared. And then what's the next one? Follow the O over here. So this will be this x times this 5, right? So again, like this x times this x is x squared. This x times this 5 is 5x. And the next part, let's follow the purple over here. So the inner is 4 times x, which is 4x. And the last part over here, the L, this is 4 times 5, which is 20, right? I am sure you have seen this many times before in your Algebra 1 class, but just in case if you forgot, remember this is it. And then what do I have? I have x squared. I can't combine with anything. Then the 5x and the 4x becomes 9x plus 20. Okay? What I want you to do is do the same FOIL technique for the other 3 questions, okay? Try and pause the video and do it. So here, I'm gonna do it very fast. Here, k times k squared. K times 7 is 7k, minus 3k, negative 21. Okay, so then you have k squared plus 4k minus 21. Okay, now what about here? If I have m squared minus 5m plus 2m minus 10. So that's m squared minus 3m minus 10. Okay, and the last one, this is p squared minus 6p plus 3p minus 18. So that's p squared minus 3p minus 18. Okay, so here, when we go from 2 binomials to this, we're expanding it. Okay, now the idea is, imagine if I had this. Like, for example, if I had, let me get this. Like, let's say if I have k squared plus 4k minus 21. How would I take this and go backwards? Right? How do I go from here to here? And that process is called factoring. So when you go from this trinomial to 2 binomials, we're going to call this factoring. But then how do I factor it? How do I know what this will equal? Notice you have to use this technique that I would like for you to have in your notes. What 2 numbers, when you multiply them, give you c, but when you add them, give you b, for some ax squared plus bx plus c. So take a second and just write this in your notes, and we'll see why this is really helpful. Because let's take a look at this. If I were to ask you, like here, notice that which part is the c over here? The c is this negative 21. So here, c is equal to negative 21. And what does your b equal to over here? Your b is equal to positive 4. So b is equal to positive 4. And here, what's your a value, right? What's the a value? Your a is 1. So here, what 2 numbers, when you multiply, give you negative 21, but when you add them, give you 4? Okay, so pause the video and try and think about it. And if you want to see the solution, and please don't use the calculator, it's just 7 and negative 3. These are the 2 numbers, because what's 7 times negative 3? That's negative 21. And what is 7 plus negative 3? That's equal to 4. And notice that these are the 2 numbers. And look over here. What I would say is I just say k plus 7, k minus 3. And this we already know that this factors into this, but notice that when we ask ourselves this question, that's how you determine what these 2 numbers will be. And then how do I know that this works? Because if I FOIL this, right? If I FOIL and expand this, what happens when I do that? I should get this, okay? And that's how you kind of go through the process. What I want you to do is, for these questions over here, I want you to ask yourself, what is the C, what is the B, and what two numbers when you multiply them give you C, but when you add them give you B for all of these. Here, I'll do the first one with you. So what two numbers, here your C is 7, and here your B is 8. So what two numbers when you multiply them give you 7, but when you add them give you 8? Okay, so let's see, how do you get 7 with multiplication? You only get 7 with 1 and 7, or I could also use -1 and -7. That also works. But it's just 1 and 7, because 1 times 7 is 7, and 1 plus 7 is 8. So then this factors to x plus 7, x plus 1. Okay? And then how do I know that this works? Because if I actually FOIL this, I should get the original, and it does work. This is the check, if you want to see if this works, because x times x is x squared, x times 1 is x, 7 times x is 7x, and 7 times 1 is 7. And you do get the original, okay? And that's what I want you to try and do for the others, is take your time and try and find the combination of numbers that will allow you to factor this, all right? If you want to pause the video and try and do it by yourself, and very important, no calculator. You have to get used to doing this without a calculator, all right? Let's look at the first one. Here, what two numbers when I multiply give me -10, but when I add give me 3? Well, the way you can do this is, let's see, how do you get -10 with multiplication? I could do -10 times 1, I could do -1 times 10, I could do 5 times -2, or I could do -5 times 2. Notice that these combinations, when I multiply them, give me -10. But which ones, when I add them, give me that +3 over here? Well, let's see, what's -10 plus 1? That's -9, so that doesn't work, because if I had a -9 over here, then this would be the combination. This one doesn't work because this is +9. 5 plus -2 is 3, so this one doesn't work. This is the one, because what's -5 plus 2? That's -3. So then this is the combination. It's x minus 5 and x plus 2. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, my bad. This is the one we wanted. We wanted 3, not this one. So this is the plus, and this is the negative. Okay, so it's +5 and -2. And then how does this work? If you check it, if I FOIL this, I better get the original. So it'll be x squared times -2x plus 5x -10. And this becomes x squared plus 3x minus 10. Okie dokie. What I want you to do is try and work on C, D, E, and F. You got this.